Hello again, and welcome back to my own personal hell. My name is, again, sir, I must ask you to refrain from using your classified name, and I must ask you to refrain from opening your mouth. Anyway, I'm sure you remember a few months ago when I brought up that illegal Mech Armor fighting ring. Well, today I'm going to further detail on that particular subject. As mentioned last time, we recently found out that another one of these Mech Armor fighting rings opened up in Spain, of all places. So far, we've only identified a few fighters, including that weird lizard thing. But one we did identify, and I'm currently hunting down, is a girl named Liko. Admittedly, we don't know much about her, and this log will be updated as more information comes to light. But what we do have information about is her mech armor. It resembles a green cat sort of thing, with metal claws and leaf-like projectiles it can shoot at its opponents. Hence, as we have no information on her, though, many theories have started to circle around headquarters. Some believe she's the daughter of another mech armor fighter, who we will discuss in a later file. Some, however, simply believe that she's a newcomer with no actual relation to the sport. Either way, don't really care. On to the next one. Okay, so for this one, I had a bit of a weird-sounding goal to it, which was to avoid making it look like the Grumpy Cat supervillain that I did for my April Fool's episode. Hood, I know that sounds like a strange goal on paper, but since these are two, robot cat-looking drawings, I did want to make sure you could distinguish between the two of them, and that it doesn't just look like a green version of that. And fortunately, I'd say that this one does look fairly unique. Though it's definitely not my favorite of the episode, I still think it looks pretty good overall. Here's the finished result. Our next mech armor comes from the Hokkaido region of Japan. It's a shark-like mech armor piloted by a girl named Cynthia. She started mech armor fighting at the age of 10, using a scrappy thrown-together shark mech, which she would modify and upgrade into what it is today. She apparently was also a sadistic little 10-year-old, leaving most of her opponents in literal pieces after her fights. Unlike Liko, Cynthia seems to have participated in fights in multiple regions of the world. Her mech armor is also incredibly powerful, having large blades at the end of both arms. It can also shoot out energy beams, fly, basic mech armor stuff. And it can transform. Yep, you heard me right, mech armor can transform. In its altered state, it becomes significantly more powerful, while also gaining larger blades, more spikes, and a red paint job for some reason. However, it seems it can only keep this form for a short time before reverting back to its original state. Okay, so when I first thought of the idea of doing Pokémon Trainers as Mech Armors, I had a few that I knew I immediately wanted to do. Mostly the Sprigato and the one coming up after this one. But the other one I knew I really wanted to do was the Cynthia Garchomp Hump Mech. And overall, I do think this one did work fairly well. Oh, the only thing I'd really have struggles with is the fact that it doesn't really look that mechanical. Like, you could almost mistake it for being a superhero drawing. Didn't really add that much mechanical features to it. But again, and that's more of a small nitpick. Overall, the design is really good. Also, I do kind of regret not doing since I mentioned in the lore the whole Mega Evolution, not doing a slightly redrawn version of this. But maybe I'll do that for a future episode. Who knows? Who's? But yeah, no, I just really like the way this one turned out. I'm probably going to use it for the title card. N.E.R.D, mostly for popularity purposes. And honestly, I'm kind of running out of things to say. I very much... So, basically, I've been writing the lore in advance. In past episodes, I would pretty much go off the top of my head for the lore, but that would often end in me like stuttering and not really making a whole lot of sense. So recently, I've been kind of like planning it out and writing it ahead of time. But also the con of that is I don't know exactly how much of the drawing time that actually fills. So sometimes we'll have a situation like this when I write lore in advance, but I don't account for how much time it'll actually take for me to read through it. So, I have a whole bunch of empty space left to do design notes. But like I said, for this I don't really have that many design notes to say. So, but overall I do think it is better me doing the writing out in advance rather than me just trying to stutter through. Yeah. Also, I'm just gonna put this here. If you have any more Pokemon trainers or just Pokemon in general you want me to turn into Mech Armors, go ahead, put them in the comments below. And I'm just gonna stop here. Okay. Next Mech belongs to a man who goes by the name Stephen Stone. Man, you gotta love alliterative names. Maybe I myself have an alliterative name. I guess we'll never know. I understand your sarcasm, sir. Anyway, this Stephen guy is apparently the son of a wealthy businessman, which, if I had to guess, I'd say is likely how he afforded his top-of-the-line mech armor. Nepotism, I tells ya. Sir, please stay on topic. Fine. This armor is unlike any I've ever seen. Mostly due to its multiple limbs. These limbs not only provide basic attack and protection, they also contain weird gravity. I don't know how they work, but they work like tractor beams in Star Wars. They lift people up and they move them around and that kind of stuff. I also got like force fields and lasers and, other traditional mech armor stuff. I have fought multiple superhumans and mech armors in my day, and even this one is going to be a bit more of a challenge. Okay, this was the one I was most excited to do for the episode. Because, like I said for the Garchomp one, it was one of the first ones that I thought of doing for the episode. And obviously Gen 3, he is my favorite generation, so there's that as well. And what I wanted to do more for this episode, like I said, I've been trying to distinguish the mech armor ones from my more superhero episodes. I also wanted to try to go for more unique kinds of mech armors. Like, most of the ones I do are more Iron Man human-looking ones. So with this one, I wanted to go for a more variety of shapes. So for this one, I thought I'd do a type of, like, Doc Ock or Spider-Man or Iron Spider type with the 4 arms sticking out the back. And overall, I do think this is actually my favorite one of the episode. It looks very well. There's one thing I would fix about it, I decided not to shade the things coming out, like, not shade, like, palms of the additional arms, because I thought it made them look more sci-fi, but it does kind of just make them look more two-dimensional. But that's a small little nitpick. In general, overall, this drawing looks fairly well, and obviously the shiny form looks even better. Here's the finished result. Our last mech armor for the day comes from the original fighting ring, the Kanto region. This region has given birth to many iconic Mech Armor fighters, but today I felt it best to discuss what's probably the weirdest one. And this strange purple Mech Armor is piloted by an old lady named Agatha, which... oh no, the song's in my head again! Anyway, she said that this is apparently supposed to look like a ghost, but does it though? It looks like a Furby mated with Grimace from McDonald's. Anyway, this Mech Armor, as you may have gathered, has a very strange shape to it, with the old lady, Agatha, sitting in the torso of it to pilot the thing. It shoots the strange nauseous gas, which I guess is supposed to knock out or even kill its opponents. It also gives the Mech Armor much more of a mysterious vibe to it. But there's also another theory going around the office, is that this strange purple Mech Armor was once a different looking Mech Armor that looked fairly similar to it, but pink and a bit more spiky, and that this pilot apparently used to be the pilot of that Mech Armor. I don't know if I exactly buy this theory, but it could work. Anyway, can I please stop now? I have some actual work to do. No. Okay, so I knew I wanted some variety for this episode, not just in Mech Armor appearance, but also like what generation of Pokemon the Mech Armors came from. And so for this one, for doing a Gen 1, obviously, I had a lot more choices I could have gone with. Like, originally I was going to do a Lieutenant Surge Raichu Mech Armor, which could have been fun. But I was also knew I was going to have to, like, add a lot of camo, and that would take a while. So then, it was between this, or like a Staryu Misty Mech, or like, Brock... whatever the weird giant snake one's called. For some reason I can't think of... Onyx. It's called an Onyx. Anyway, but overall I think I'm actually glad I chose this one. Weird egg thing. I don't know, I'm just tired.